the name of novelist.
And I go by the name of Jewel. Well, I am Jewel.
Yeah. I hope you're
Good
Joe.
evening.
What's
How
going
are
on,
you?
Joe?
You know
I'm
what?
good. I'm good.
You ready for the guests?
Ready for another. Yeah, you know, nothing going on. Rich, really? Is it windy where you are too?
Um, it was not really windy, just like bone chilling cold. It was like not freezing, but
Oh,
bone chilling cold. Hmm.
oh, it's very, very windy here.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I could actually hear it. Anyway, yeah. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you guys are watching on Facebook, make sure to
Hmm.
share the page with your friends, and tell everybody about Dissect. And yeah, welcome to the show if it's your first time. And Jules, you want to do the honor?
You didn't even ask me how my week was. What? Just like ready to get into the
Yeah, I
show.
know. We were having so much fun backstage. I figure, just carry the momentum. But yeah, you're right. How was your week? Yeah, how was
Well,
your week? You're right.
my week was busy. My week was very busy. I'm getting ready to do something for Kitty's Carnival over here for Caravana, and I've been making costumes and just
Right.
putting that together. So just that had me busy all week, pretty much. What about you?
Yeah, that's why I hardly spoke to you on, what was it, Friday and Thursday.
Yeah, I can
My
hear
week
you,
was
but
kind
you're
of busy
frozen.
too. Yeah, a lot of yeah. Uh, See, wind. All I hear is wind.
Oh, that's what it is.
So
The free. That's
I
why
don't
you're
know.
freezing.
But my right, Los Angeles going on at work.
Okay.
Regular stuff.
Hmm. So actually, just before we got
Uh,
on air, I just want to let the audience know that you know what,
hey,
Novelist does a
go ahead.
radio show, and you're fading. I don't know what's going on, but he brings the energy on his radio show on TDN Radio, and he kind of puts a different persona on when he does the show here. Um, so I'm going to introduce the guest because the wind has him fading away. This evening we
Yeah,
have
we good.
an amazing guest. As usual, we have amazing guests, but you know what? This guest that we have is, I want to call her a serial entrepreneur. She is the CEO of Kingdom Beads. She is also the owner of Frame Your Day Wear. She is a published author of 4 books. She has another one on the way, and there she is. I'm still going to be speaking about you because there's more to tell. Not only is she a published author, she also does an a live show um, where she does faith-based teaching, and she talks about framing your day, and also it's Tuesday nights called it's called to the Throne Tuesdays, right? To the Throne Tuesdays. So I've tuned in, and actually not. I've tuned in the past, but she's back and doing more shows. So I'm excited to see what she has in store. That was a long introduction, but it was well worth it because
Facts.
she has so many accolades to share, and she's going to tell us more tonight. Welcome to Dissect,
Thank you for
Efia
having
Leatham.
me. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Welcome.
having me. I'm excited.
Mhm. Yes. So
This is kind.
This is what?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm all frozen here.
yeah, he's kind of frozen.
Yeah, it's the wind.
The wind. Where are I mean, you're not that far away from me, but I guess the wind, the weather is different where you are in the east. I'm in the west.
I'm central.
Okay, so how are you doing? How are you today?
Yeah.
I'm
Been-
good.
Mhm.
Today has been if I'm going to be honest, like a lazy day. I wasn't feeling well. I had gotten sick in the week, and
Mhm.
I had just been trying to make sure that I had enough energy to come on tonight. and
All
not
right.
be like, hey guys, can we reschedule because I'm not well? I was like, no, I can't do that. So it's good. It's a good day. My Blue Jays lost, second game of the season opener, but it's okay. We won the first one. I'm a big sports fan. For those who don't know, I'm all things Toronto.
Okay. Okay. We're going to learn a lot more about you tonight. So tell us a little bit more about Efia Leatham.
So,
The woman. Where are you based? Where are you based?
Like,
let's start with your back. Let's start with your background. Like
Your background. Where are you based?
let's start with your background. Like
your roots?
Yeah.
Okay, so my roots.
Mm-hmm.
I am 100% Dominican. My parents were born in Granby in Dominica, fantastic island of nature. We have so many rivers. Where it's a blessing. I'm going to say it's a real blessing.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, I am going to put the disclaimer out, but Novelist is my cousin, who's my little brother. My mom and his mom were two sisters. So we have a rich history. Right. We go back, if I say it that way.
Okay.
Grew up in Toronto, born and raised in Toronto.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Toronto. When I was 18, I think it was 18-ish, I decided I was gonna go find myself, and I moved to Los Angeles. Then came back, and then decided to at some point move to New York. Then came back, and then decided to move to Florida. Then came back.
Right.
And it's so funny because no matter how many times I have moved, I've always come back to the place we call home.
Oh, right.
My mom would say to me, where do you live? Do you not live somewhere? Because I was always on the road. And I was one of those kids that if you told me I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong and just do it. Right. So my mom would say, do not tell this child she cannot do this or she cannot do that, because she will pick up herself and she will do it.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
And we have and we still have a really great close-knit family. And family for me really is the ultimate support system. And I am so blessed to have the family that I do. There's nothing that we don't do that we're not there for each other.
Right.
And I'm able to be who I am and do what I do because of the family and the support I have behind me.
Okay. Thank you for that introduction of yourself. Appreciate it. And putting out the disclaimer. So when we play that game later on, Novelist is gonna have the juice, the tea.
No, you're not gonna put me on the spot.
So tell us about Kingdom Beads. We're gonna go. I would like to go through everything that you've been into, kind of the things that I listed out. Okay. Kingdom Beads. Tell us about your entrepreneurship with that, how it's going, and how did it start?
So Kingdom Beads came to be, oh my goodness, I'm going to go back to 2018, maybe ish. If I remember, I think it's 2017, 2018, maybe 2018. Mm-hmm. There was a woman who was, creating and selling product, and she was based out of the US, and I would buy a lot of stuff. And then at the time, the currency, the foreign exchange rate, was starting to become a lot, so purchasing stuff and getting it shipped and all this other stuff was become quite heavy. And I just kind of sat there and I was just like, I really like the stuff that she has. And I heard the Lord say, well, you can do it too. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't so much that I wanted to do what she was doing, but I was very inspired by what she was doing.
Right.
And I said,
Right.
okay, God, if I'm going to do this, you got to tell me how to do this, because I don't know. This is not my thing. You know, I have a music background. I'm from, you know, the land of microphones and all these other things. This thing here is completely different. So I was kind of like trying to figure out how and what. Like, I didn't know anything about, I didn't know where to get supplies. I didn't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I went into prayer one day and I was like, okay, Lord, show me what I need to do. And I ended up being taken to scriptures, and I went in, took me to Exodus, took me to Revelations, and it showed the different stones that were in the Bible that were used.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, so he said, if you're going to do this, I want you to do this representing the kingdom from which you come.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, what I believe in it, and the tagline I ended up getting was elegant pieces of heaven. And it was because every time someone puts on kingdom beads, I want them to be reminded of the lineage and the royalty in which they come from.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is not just, okay, we're doing this because you can make $1. Yeah, I can make $1 doing a lot of things.
Right.
But I want us as individuals to be reminded we're not just second-class citizens. We're not subpar. We come from royalty.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put it on, I want you to be reminded. So I started using the stones, like the semi-precious stones that I found in the Bible. And that is the base of what we create from. So I will use, you know, agates and jasper, and like there's so many. And I remember looking and reading with regards to the ephod that Aaron would wear, and it had 12 stones on there.
Okay.
And those 12 stones are stones that we use in what we create. There are additional stones that you find in Revelation.
Right.
And we took from that and we started implementing them in there as well. So it had become so much more than just, oh, I'm making bracelets, or I'm making necklaces, oh, I'm making anklets. It was so much greater than that for me.
Right.
And when he gave me the name Kingdom Beads, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, you know what? Let's go. I'm down for it. Let's ride.
Yeah.
And, you know, from there, it just kind of started. And I realized when you do what you're supposed to be doing, when you're, you know, not because you see somebody else do something, but when you are doing what is part of your purpose and your call, doors open extremely easy for you.
Right.
Now, not all the time is it going to be extremely easy, because we're going to have some, you know, some bumps in the road. But in the first couple months of me having Kingdom Beads, we ended up on City Line. One of their experts was wearing Kingdom Beads on City Line. In 2021, we won the Canadian Black Oh my goodness, I always get this wrong. I need to get it right. The Black Designers of Canada's Award for Excellence.
Okay.
And when we won it, it was 100 Black designers in Canada that had been acknowledged by George Sully and Black Designers of Canada.
Wow.
And, you know, I was very, very, I was excited and humbled at the same time, because there's so many, you know, so many businesses, so many designers and everything out there. And I believe when you commit to doing what you're called to do, you will see the fruit of your labor.
Right.
You know, and right now so Kingdom Beads is being relaunched. And that was due to, I had some health issues the last 3 years that I had to deal with. So I had to shut down all businesses and kind of focus on getting myself back to being able to run businesses and continue teaching and all these other things.
Right.
So, and you know, everything is about timing, right? Because we're literally in the midst of relaunching.
Okay.
And here I am on Dissect.
How timely.
Yeah. And I didn't even tell my cousin about this. So he doesn't know.
But you know what? That just goes with most of the guests that we have here, it's always like, oh, I'm just about to come up with this. I'm about to come up with that. And it happens because we're here to dissect the thing. So let's dissect
Yeah.
it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I
that's what
appreciate
you call it,
that you shared that. Mhm. So I saw when you were talking about
So
your
obviously,
beads. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. He's delayed in his.
no. Go. Yeah, go ahead.
Go
I'll
ahead.
get you. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna talk about the
All right.
beads.
So,
Like when she showed
mhm,
her arm, the beads were on her arm. If you could just
right.
show.
I will show you. Actually, I took a stand and I brought some of our creations. Oh my goodness! Hold on a second.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I hide myself.
Nice.
So the bottom rows are from a collection that
Exactly.
we call the Jekalaya collection.
Okay.
It's a 4-piece set.
Okay.
And then, but this here, and I say it with no shame. This is part of my personal collection.
Your personal. That's
My
not like a sales rack.
personal collection.
Oh,
Just a part.
gosh.
I've got
Yeah,
like two
you
of
should-
these stands. I've got 2 stands full of stuff, and then I've got another big stand that has necklaces. So I didn't get to take the necklaces down, but we've got necklaces and anklet bracelets and a lot of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. We're supposed to have ours, but we'll rock it one day on the show.
So you'll have it for your next show. And
Right.
and again, I apologize. I wanted to send it, but I got sick and I couldn't get it together in time. So
That's okay.
my apologies. Your package is coming.
We have many shows to come that we can rock your jewelry. So
Well, thank you. I
our
appreciate it.
kingdom beads.
Yeah, hopefully.
Go ahead, novelist. Novelist.
Am I on
You
now?
can go ahead. All right.
He's like really frozen.
I
know?
guess he's frozen. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Maybe you can pop out and pop back in. So we're going to talk about frame your day wear, because frame your day wear is something that you're going to be, are you going to be relaunching that as well?
Yes. Actually, I have on a t-shirt from oh, it's too high. Let me see if I can bring it down a bit. Then I'm going to be like completely out of this.
I think I'm back.
Okay. So it's
He's going to go and come back.
No, I think he said he thinks he's back.
Are you back?
Yeah, oh gosh. I mean, that's like delayed.
Yes, actually.
All right. Okay.
Oh, there goes my camera wants to do its
So
own
this
thing.
is a camouflage one.
Yes, and this one is from the I Am Powerful collection.
Okay. Frame your day power. I am powerful. Okay.
Yeah. So it actually came from a subcategory of Frame Your Day, which is books that I have done, that I've published. And it was just kind of like I had my brand. What do I call her? She's the brand. Oh my goodness. I'm going to say she's my branding expert. No, but we have a nickname for her.
Okay.
She's a branding specialist. And she was like, you need to come out with some clothing. Even if you put like, because she's like, you have these great one-liners. And I always got this one thing here, one thing here. She's like, that needs to, we'll be talking. She'll be like, that needs to go on a t-shirt. That needs to go on it. That needs to go on a book. That needs to go here. This needs to go here. So Frame Your Day Wear came as, like I said, a subcategory of Frame Your Day. There is a website, fydwear.com. In the next couple weeks, we're actually going to have a really big sale. We want to move some stuff because we have new stuff coming.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do what we got to do. So there's the relaunch of this as well. There is a really great, and when I send your packages for you, I will make sure to include a couple of our t-shirts. I have a t-shirt that is honestly, it's like, I think it means so much more to me than just a t-shirt, and it says my black matters.
Mm-hmm.
It is a black on black. I wish I took it out. Shoot. It's a black on black t-shirt. So the writing is black, and when the light
Right.
hits it, you know, you can kind of see stuff. So it's a real
Yeah.
great conversation starter. And it really came to be during the pandemic, when we saw what was happening with George
Yeah.
Floyd and all these other things that were happening out there. And it wasn't so much about Black Lives Matter, because yes, Black lives do matter, but it became really personal for me. And it was, you know what? Everybody's got this, but my black matters.
Yes.
So in this conversation with the brands, she's like, that needs to go on a shirt. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. No problem. Put it on a shirt. So I have that out there. And we got some track suits coming.
Okay.
A whole bunch of different things. We've got hoodies. Just a lot. So I'm thankful, but I'll tell you, be careful not, if you are an individual who wants to get into starting businesses, be careful not to become a serial entrepreneur unless you have time.
Right. Yeah.
Because it takes a lot. And you can definitely, and I'll put my hand up first. I would spread myself too thin, doing so many things all at once. And sometimes when you are so divided, you don't get to give your full attention to the things that need all the attention.
Yes.
So, and especially when you're doing a lot of things hands-on, when you're very hands-on,
Yeah.
Plus I still have a full-time job on top of everything else that I do.
Right.
So I want to make sure I pace myself coming back now. And I'll do my best. And I might have to get some people to hold me accountable to this too.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds like a great start so far, and I wish you all the luck. And I will be supporting the brand as well. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Am I up to time here, or am I still?
You're good. You're good.
No, once you call
your
my name,
voice is, but your image
okay,
isn't.
you said novelist, and I. Oh, okay. So I don't even know what, I honestly don't know where we are, but what made you want to write your first book? What inspired your first book?
My first book was written, well, I should say it was written. It came in the idea started in 2012, and it wasn't even a book at the time.
Right.
My uncle Cliff had passed away in New York, and I went to New York, and I had seen some cousins that I hadn't seen in like years. I think I hadn't seen my cousin in like 10 years at the time. And we were all kind of there hanging out, and it was really great to see them. And I had gotten a text message from one of my cousins, and he had sent me like a word of inspiration in the morning. He's like, I send this thing out, here, let me send it to you. And I was like, oh, cool. And while I was sitting, coming back home, did I drive? No, I'm lying. I flew to New York. And on my way back, I was just sitting in the airport, and I was just like, wow. And I really liked the idea of, being able to help inspire somebody else or encourage somebody else the way it did for me. And October 11th, after being home, after he had passed, I woke up one morning and I had finished praying, and he's, send this message out to some of your friends. And I was like, what message? He's like, I'm going to tell you. So I wrote this message out and I texted out. And then it was, okay, so you text it out. Now I want you to send it out on WhatsApp. And I want you to send it out on, I think it was Facebook at the time. And I started doing it. And this, when I tell you, that was October 11th, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Today is, April 1st, 2023.
Yeah.
I have never missed a
April
day
1st, 2022.
from when I started in 2012.
Yeah.
And then in 2016, I had gotten into an elevator accident at work. And while I was home in bed recovering, the idea came, you know what, put this together and make it a devotional book that people can go into, because it's short enough that you could read it in 60 seconds, but it's powerful enough to help you set your mind to, start your day or end your day, however you want to use it. Excuse me. So I had put this together, and in doing so, I had gotten, I'm going to call her, I'm going to say, she's a virtual assistant, but she's so much more than that. And her name is Regina. And I say, if you are in, if you're an author, if you're a speaker, any of that stuff, make sure you have a great team. Yeah. And not everybody can have a Regina, but everybody needs a Regina. I promise you. And she knew what she was doing in getting, how to get the book out. And in doing so, the very first book we did, which released in, oh my goodness, I want to say May of 2016, that book ended up going #1 bestsellers on Amazon.
Just say the title.
Frame Your Day. It's the first one is Frame Your Day for Victory in 60 Seconds.
Okay.
So I picked. I did go grab two of them that are there that I have. So I have this one, which is Frame Your Day for Victory for the school year for kids. This is a kid's book. And this is for kids to use during the school year. If your children cannot read, for you to read it to them in the mornings. When I tell you, it's not long, it's short, right? It's just little things in here that you can sit down and read with your kids. And then this was my third one. Frame Your Day, Frame Your Life for Victory in 60 Seconds. And this one has a companion book. As I was doing them, I realized it's one thing to read stuff, but if you don't have practical application, it does not really transform who you are. It doesn't do much. So we did put that together. So in the companion book, there is an AM portion and a PM portion for you to work through day by day. And every month as you go through, then you get to do some recapping. And then by the time you get to the end of the year, you've recapped your whole year and you start to preset yourself for what you want to accomplish in the following year.
Okay, so I need to get myself one of those.
So I am hoping to get a new one out and a second one for kids. So that's my goal this year. I'm hoping to do it, but it's on my list to do.
And your third one is Frame Your Day, Frame Your Life for Victory in 60 Seconds. That's the companion. Okay, that was the companion book. And then you have the companion book.
There's a companion to this one.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can find those on Amazon. You can find them at EfiaLeatham.com. They're out there. They're definitely out there.
Yes, they are. Go and check out her website, as she said, Efia Leatham.
Didn't we have a video or? Didn't we have a video?
We do have a clip from someone that is endorsing her book. So you know what? Maybe we could play that clip.
Yeah, let's show that clip. So we'll be right back in a minute. Let's get to that clip and.
Yo, what's up? It's Eric Simon the Bandit. Y'all wonder where I've been getting my inspiration from lately. It's been from this book, The Daily Word, from my homegirl, Efia Leatham. I'll tell you right now, she's powerful. Y'all probably seen it on some of my posts on my Instagram. I told y'all to follow the girl because, again, she's a young woman who's just trying to make a change. And like Bob Marley says, through love, you can make a change. So I just figured that this word that she's giving is something new. It's not beating you in the head, it's giving you some inspiration to start your day off with. So, believe me, I'm not like a religious person to where I'm Bible thumping the whole nine. I just believe in the higher power. I believe that, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. And, but this book, The Daily Word, so check her out, man.
Yes. And for those of you who
Just
don't
just
know,
watching that.
Derek
Just what?
Zimmerman, yeah, he's a
Mm-hmm.
very important person to
Just
be reading her books and endorsing her book. So,
oh, facts.
I want to check.
Right.
I want
So
to get
just
mine and check it out. Like he said, check it out.
So let me give you
yeah.
a thing with that. The
Mhm.
first book originally was called The Daily Word, Frame Your Day for Victory in 60 Seconds.
Mhm.
And when
Right.
that book came out, and that was the book that hit, did it? I think that was the one that hit #1 on Amazon. And I had gotten a letter that said I had to cease and desist using the title, The Daily Word. Now, when I searched to put this book out, I didn't see anything with what I was putting out there. So I had to stop using that title of the book, The Daily Word, and I had to relaunch the book with a new name. And when I went through it, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I couldn't find
Right.
my lawyer. I couldn't find my
Mhm.
assistant. I couldn't find anybody for 3 days. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like totally broken. I'm like, I put everything that I had into this and it's doing
Yeah.
this, and all of a sudden I can't use, and I was like, oh no, the enemy's not going to do this.
Yeah.
So and it was funny because at the time I was starting to brand everything as Frame Your Day.
Hmm.
Everything was Frame Your Day, Frame Your Day. And
Right.
on the third day, I got called the book Frame Your Day. You already used Frame Your Day.
Right.
You used it for your show. You used it for, that's your tagline. You have your hashtags. Call it Frame Your Day. So we just, I renamed it as Frame Your Day.
Okay. So I guess it was a little, I guess, copyright issue with the Daily Word. There's an actual tiny little book. They call it Daily Word. Maybe that's what it was.
It wasn't even a book. It was a, I think it was like, I don't know if it was a magazine or something,
Yeah.
but it had that in it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, you know what? Frame Your Day, and you found it, and it was given to you, and that word is Frame Your Day, and you've been, those books are flying off the shelf. Still a bestseller. So, yeah.
Which, I think, again, when you just do what you're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
it works itself out. So,
Makes
but for that, I'm very, very thankful. Very, very thankful.
Makes sense. And you're self-published, right?
I am. That's a whole nother story. I had originally, I wrote my first book in 2000 and, my goodness, I'm going to say 2008, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I had sent that book out to be published, and it had gotten picked up by a publisher at the time. And I'm not even going to name the publisher.
Yeah.
But it got picked up by a publisher. And I had gotten my contracts and everything, and I had signed everything. And then all of a sudden, this publisher's gone missing. Can't find the publisher nowhere. My manuscript is gone. And I was like, oh, it's a good thing that I had, but for all those who are authors out there, let me say this. If you are not in a position to financially copyright your stuff, there is a cheap way that you can do copyright. Make sure you print off everything you have, put it into an envelope, send it to yourself by registered mail, and never open it. You would only open it if you had to go to court, so you can show that in there. So I had done that.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I know I've covered myself. So I have looked and I have searched to see if this thing has ever come out, but I haven't seen it come out. I don't know if they put it out under a different name. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that company went up. Girl, I don't know where. It just flew off the shelf. I was like, where did it
wasn't your time. Maybe it wasn't your time. And it was, because how many years later you came out with Frame Your Day or Daily Word, and then, it became a bestseller, Would that have been a bestseller? Who knows, right?
I don't know. But I still debate if I should release it. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but we'll see.
And there's also an app where you get all the information, right? Like the daily word and the Frame Your Day story and all that. Right?
There is Frame Your Day app. It's
Right.
available in the Google Store and in iOS. I tell you, serial entrepreneur is a problem. It's a real problem. So I have that too. If I'm honest, I haven't updated it in a little bit. Again, due to being sick and stuff, but that is there. There is teachings in there. There is something in there which I call the shopping mall. There was a lot of businesses that I connected with, and I have put them in there. So you can go in and just click on their logos, and it'll take you right into their website, and you can shop straight from them.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when did you come out with this app?
The app came out in 2019-ish. 2019-ish.
Okay, so
maybe?
just before the pandemic.
18-ish, yeah,
somewhere in there.
I would say
18-ish,
whatever. Yeah.
You know the sad thing is, I've done so many things for me to remember the dates that everything came out. I'm like, I don't know. And then someone will go and Google it. No, it came out in 2020. Okay, sorry, I was wrong.
You're wrong. You are a very busy person, and it shows. But you're passionate about everything that you do, and I see it and I hear it when you talk. When I listen to you and I watch you, and I see the comments from other people. People appreciate the things that you're doing for them. They look forward to hearing you speak, and when you speak, you command attention. I think so. You're doing a good job. Keep it up.
And all your business connected instances like Kingdom Beads. Frame Your Day came before Kingdom Beads, obviously, right? But there's a spiritual thing behind all of them.
100%.
So
I don't believe in doing things just to do things. Everything has to have a purpose. And when I started Frame Your Day, which was the initial of everything, which was from a spiritual standpoint, everything kind of just birthed from it. There's a scripture that says your gifts will make room for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, your gifts will also bring you before great men. And I figure if you focus on the one thing that you are called to do, and for me, focus is really following one course until successful.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, that one thing is going to be the thing that then catapults you into other things. And that is what I see happen with me starting from Frame Your Day. And that was from a text message, right? It started as a text message in 2012. And here we are in 2023 now with Frame Your Day books and an app, a clothing line, and a jewelry company. And only God knows what else is coming, because I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So.
And you got your teachings that you do.
On top of it. Right. Yeah. So there's that. And then I do speaking engagements, and it's all connected.
Yeah.
It is all connected.
Yeah.
It really is a kingdom that you are building. It's like an empire, almost. If you think of it, you could think of it in that way,
I could.
Yeah.
I could. I could, right? But I've never looked at it in that capacity. It was just I'm doing what I'm called to do, and as it opens other doors, walk through those doors, but also be mindful. Not every door that opens is the right door for you to go through.
Right.
Not every opportunity is a good opportunity, or that not every opportunity is a good opportunity, and not every good opportunity is a God opportunity.
You're right.
So you definitely want to be mindful of what is presented before you, and I'd say do the research before you just say, you know what, sure, let's do it. Because when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Right.
This is the teacher in me.
Yeah.
Yep. That I was gonna say that's what I get sometimes.
So since you introduced Novelist as your cousin, Novelist, do you get those kind of pep talks or those kind of talks from your cousin?
I do.
As her being your older
I do.
or mature cousin? You do?
Listen, we grew up together in the same house together. I
Mhm.
did put it this way. She said she's my cousin because we're cousins, but that's my
But that's
big
my
sister.
brother. That's my little brother. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my sister.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
Listen, I was stuck in New York. What was it, like a month ago in a snowstorm? She drove over there to get me in Buffalo. Need
Mhm.
I say more? So
No.
yeah, I get it. I get the harsh reality. I get every side of her. So how
Okay.
I am, she has a lot to do with it.
She framed a little bit of framing for you. She
She
framed who
framed a
you are.
lot of novelists.
But
Trust
I
me.
don't know if I want that much credit because I don't know which parts of you that you're saying I framed.
The discipline parts.
The
The
discipline.
discipline parts. Yeah.
I'll tell you. So I'll give you a quick story. Right when we were younger, and because you said we grew up as siblings, right? I would come in and be like, "Hey, get dressed. Let's go." He don't know where we're going, what we're doing, nothing. He just gotta get dressed and let's go. And
Yeah.
there was no telling me no, because I'm his big sister. We're like, let's go.
Yeah.
To the point, I remember my younger sister was, I think was she away at school? No, was she at school? I don't know if she was away at
She
school.
was
No,
she went to in Texas.
maybe she was. I don't know. I can't remember, but
Okay.
I remember going out and buying us matching tracksuits. These blue tracksuits.
Oh, yeah.
And like it was just whatever I did for me, I did for him.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I got into music. He was in music.
Yeah.
I went to a radio station. I'm bringing him to the radio station. Like whatever it is, I was like, yo, I'm gonna take him with me.
That's nice.
Yep. I ended up in a Raptors party all red. Don't ask me how.
All red? At a Raptors
party. And by the way, we didn't sneak into the party. Oh, hi, Bosch. Like, what? Like, Bosch? Like, Mo Pete? Like, what? Like, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
This was many years ago. Many years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foundation.
So I get
it's
it all.
important.
I get it all. Yeah, facts.
And then sometimes, I have to, drape him up and be like, hey, that's not how we do things. And sometimes he's got to put me in check too.
Yeah.
He don't check me much though.
But
he don't check me much.
No, I don't.
Well, there's a respect level, right?
June
I
knows
think
a little.
that's the respect level.
Of course. Of course.
Yes.
All right, can we get back to the interview? Because this is not about me, all right?
We just learned a little bit more about you. That was good. That's good.
Yeah, I know you've been with me for a while, but don't worry, your time will come. I feel like
I'm hearing that you have. You didn't say it yet, but when we spoke prior to the show, you mentioned that you have something in the works, a new book maybe in the works.
Yes. So I haven't titled it yet, but there is possibly 2 that may be coming out. My goal is to get them out this year. I'm hoping to be able to do so. Plus, I'm also working on a planner that'll help you, deal with. And it's not called Frame Your Day, but I won't be surprised if it is a Frame Your Day planner or something. I don't know. But to help you stay accountable and Organization is extremely important. At least I believe it is. Time management is even more so important because everybody is given the same 24 hours in a day, but it's how do you use it and how are you productive with it? That is going to bring you from from point A to point B.
Right.
So I'm in the process of doing that. I was supposed to try and have it out for this year, but I didn't. So I might look to see if I can get it ready and released for fourth quarter so that everyone can have it going into the next calendar year.
Okay.
It's a few things.
Novelist, you have a question? Because I just wanted to know if she can read. If you can read a little bit of maybe one of the passages from Frame Your Day. Like what would one look forward to if they were looking to frame their day? Like what is it, the message that they're looking to receive?
Okay, so I'm just gonna open the book randomly.
Yep.
I gotta be random because I'd be like, oh, she picked that. No, I didn't.
Yep.
So this is from Frame Your Day, Frame Your Life for Victory in 60 Seconds. This is for day 113. And it says, frame your day. Good morning. Today as you go forward in victory, know that those covered under the blood of Jesus have the spirit of resiliency upon them. You may get knocked down, but that means nothing because you keep getting back up. Though a just man falls 7 times, he gets back up every time. No, you cannot be stopped unless you want to be. You were created for greatness. Don't let no one tell you different. If you are not under the blood, get under it today. Hashtag no stopping you.
Hashtag no stopping you. That's powerful. I like that. Definitely get me one of those books. I used to have a book that I used to read. It was like Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and this is similar. Like in a way, like every day I would read a passage of that book. But this is something. Yeah, I like that.
Did you want a page from the kids' book?
Yeah, I work with students. I would love to know what you're telling the students how to frame their day. Yeah.
Okay. So this is from random page, day 139. It says, frame your day, rise and shine. As you get ready for school today, do not give up on trying what seems hard. God is ready and able to help you win. Have faith because God holds the world in his hands and he can hold you. The hard things and make you win all at the same time. Nothing is too hard for God to do. He's ready to help you. He's ready to help and see you win today. Hashtag still winning.
Still winning. I like that. Nice. Get that one for my nephew and my niece. Thank you for sharing those excerpts.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's about that time, but I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like time has just flown by. Yeah, how?
I don't know.
Well, we might just take that, replace the game, replace it with that little share that you shared about novelists. We could go more into that, but do you have any more questions, novelists? I have a lot more. We have 10 minutes left.
Yes. Please ask more questions instead of going into about me, because we don't need to know about me. I mean, I'm sitting here every Saturday, like they see me. But okay, what drives you to get up and want to do your teachings every it's every Tuesdays, right?
Every Tuesday, yeah.
Where do you get the motivation for that? Because you have so many other things going on. And another question I'm gonna put with that, like your spirituality, like where did it all begin? Like, was there a moment where you probably just got up and realized something, or did you go through something that made you I guess tap into your spirituality?
So that's a very loaded question, and I will give
Yeah.
you a very loaded answer. So I'll go with the first part of your question. What motivates me? My motivation is really wanting to see people get up from where they are and being able to fall back in love with their first true love.
Right.
Every one of us was created, right? And not all of us, not everybody believes in God, and I get that. But we did not create ourselves at the end of the day. But
Mm-hmm.
what is, you know, I believe success is how many people can you reach down to and help get up from the depths of defeat and see them win. I really truly believe, people have it in them to win. And I want to see people win.
Right.
And sometimes we need just a nudge and a push and a reminder of who we are and whose we are and who loves us and, what we're capable of doing. And going through things in my own life has allowed me to say, you know what? I know I can get through it, how I got through it. And some people may not be able to have those experiences, but they need somebody that can just give them that little nudge in the back and say, hey, let me share some truth with you, not my truth, not another, let me share the truth with you. And then let's see how it impacts your life, because truth will bring forth transformation, not your truth. And no, the truth will always bring forth change. And where did it stem from? If I go
Right.
back to 2006, I was in a really, really bad place. I was in I don't even know how to describe it, but I was contemplating suicide. I just didn't want to do stuff anymore. I was done. And I remember calling my mom, and she was at work, and I said to her, no, I'm really sorry, but if you come home and see me hanging in the closet, I didn't mean to do this. I don't want to hurt you. My mother had called my cousin who was working across from where we lived, and she was like, I need you to go home right now. So she came home, and then my mom calls my aunt that was in Florida, and everyone is like, this is not what we do. This is not how we deal with things. And my aunt in Florida was like, you know what, maybe you just need a change of environment. Come down to Florida. I had a girlfriend who lived in New Jersey at the time. And she was like, why don't you come down here? Just get away. So I ended up driving to her place. And she said to me, girl, I found this church in Brooklyn. She's like, it's worth the drive. And I was like, oh, okay. So long story short, I go to this church with her, and I'm sitting in church, and I promise you, I'm not exaggerating this at all. I'm sitting in church, and the pastor there gives out this altar call. And it was right around Christmas time. So they had a Christmas pageant, they had done a play and all this other stuff. And he gives an altar call, and he's like, come, he gives the first call, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay.
He's not talking to me.
He's not talking to me.
Yeah.
He gives a second call. And the second time, I feel like this pull on my shirt. And I was like, I look down, I'm like, what is this? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know he's not talking to me. I know who Jesus is. I didn't drive all the way from Toronto to come. I know who Jesus is. He says, we can do this all day, but I'm not going to move forward until this person comes, because this is a moment for them. And I get this pull on, and I'm not exaggerating. I get this pull on my shirt again. So I turn to my friend, I'm like, I think he's waiting for me. I said, I keep getting this pull on my shirt. I said, but if I'm going, you got to come with me too, because this is your church. I didn't come all the way here for this.
Yeah.
So he says it again. And I was like, it's got to be me, because I keep getting this thing. Now, I didn't know what was happening, right? I get up and I go to the front. And as I'm walking down the side of the aisle, and this was at CCC in Brooklyn, there's a woman, and I didn't know, there was a woman coming down from the upstairs. And she and I literally met at the foot of the stairs where my row, like the the aisle ended, the stairs ended, and she and I met each other at the same time.
Mhm.
And when we moved up, the Pastor Bernard was like, "We can now continue." I was like, "Yo, what just happened?" And in that moment, I gave my, I said yes to the call. I said yes to Jesus. I said yes to God. Now, I will say this. Growing up Catholic, I know my mom was like, you can, as long as you go to church, you need to go to church first before you do anything else.
Mhm.
So I got saved Sunday morning, right? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got saved Sunday morning. Sunday night, I was at Lotus nightclub in New York City.
Right.
I didn't know what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't, because I knew as long as I went to church, it was okay.
Mhm.
And this is where the transition for me started. And it was, going through this. And then after having that experience, I then that's when I moved to Florida. And when I came back, it was just so much. And I was like, in the entire time, I had experiences and encounters
Mhm.
with God that proved to me that God and Jesus was real.
It's real.
Real. Like, I mean, on my way back from moving back from New York, not New York. Oh my goodness. Moving back from Florida, I had to stop in New York because my sister who lives in New York, she met me, she came down and I dropped her off coming back. On the way home, I fell asleep at the wheel on the highway.
Mhm.
And I didn't even know I didn't even know I passed out. And when I did, I literally felt the steering wheel jerk forward as if it was on hydraulics.
Mhm.
And I popped up and I saw I was on a bend. Had I not woken up, I would have went right off.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, what are you doing? I got off the highway and I went and got a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. And then, it took a minute to get myself to, I was like, girl, no. And it was in that, I was like, God, I thank you.
Jesus took the wheel. Jesus.
He like
He literally took the wheel. Literally took the wheel.
On my way coming, so in the same journey coming back from Florida, my car, at the time, my vehicle had, I guess, something had happened with the pump, whatever, and didn't know. All of a sudden, I couldn't brake, and I pulled over on the side of the road. We didn't even know where we were. All we knew was we were in South Carolina.
Mhm.
And we were in between. I didn't know how far I was from the next exit. Didn't know nothing. And we get out the car. My sister has a real strange way of dealing with things, because when things are like upside down, she's laughing like it's funny. And I'm like, this ain't funny.
Nervousness.
And she's laughing. And I'm like, okay. We get out and we don't know who to call. Nothing. Don't even know a phone number to call.
Mhm.
And out of nowhere, this white car drives up, comes in front of us. No, I'm lying. Pulls up behind us. And a woman gets out. She's got on white. She has reddish brown hair. She was a white woman. And she's like, are you guys okay? Because my hood is up.
Mhm.
Smoke is coming out of the car. I'm like, I don't know.
Not really.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's like, she's gonna call the state, not state trooper, but like highway services or whatever. So she calls them, and then she goes back in her car. I told you she parked behind us.
Right.
So I go to my car. I'm in the front trying to figure out, okay, is it coolant? Is it antifreeze? What is the problem here? What is it?
Yeah.
My sister and I come out. We get back up. We're on the side of the road. There's rocks. There's gravel. You can hear when she pulls in. You would hear when she pulled out. You would have seen her drive away. The car didn't pull out. I didn't see her drive away. Nothing. But then not too long after, the highway patrol guy comes. And he then tells us, there was at the next exit, very next exit, there was a mechanics thing there. Had to end up getting and there happens to be a motel attached to it.
Wow.
That we end up staying there overnight. Then my car had to get picked up and taken to the dealership. At the time, I was driving a Land Rover, so they had to come pick up, and they took it to Land Rover, South Carolina. It was just like this whole thing, and I was like, y'all can't tell me God ain't real, because that car came, but we never saw that car leave.
Right.
I didn't hear the car leave. And I was just like, and I looked at myself like, yo, where'd the lady go? She's like, girl, I don't know. I said, did you hear the lady driving? She's like, no. So for me, and one of the things that scripture tells us, here's my paraphrase. Be careful how you treat people, because you could be entertaining angels unknown to you.
Right.
And I really believe that woman was an angel sent that day.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea where I was. We might still be sitting in South Carolina right now.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a long wait. Wow.
So the gist of it is he showed himself to be real to you, and you decided, you're
many, and it's not just one or two, right? It's not one or two times. I've had these encounters repeatedly in my life that shows him to be real. Things that I know that I could never do in my own strength.
Yeah.
I don't have the knowledge to do certain things. And I've seen things happen, and I'm like, it can't be, ain't nobody but God. Ain't nobody but God.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, right? I'm not an individual that will ever push what I believe on other people, but I can say for me, God is real. Jesus is real.
Mm-hmm.
And just as they are real, the devil is real too.
100.
Yeah.
100.
Absolutely. Well, as many of the conversations we have on this show, we can go on forever about this topic. And this might be a part 2 as well.
A part 2? Well, hey, you let me know. No, I really appreciate you sharing your experience. It's not a story. Sharing your experience.
Definitely.
Novice.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
So let's give the people all your handles, where they could find you, the ones that pop in your head. At least I think we got some of them on the side of the screen. So let's just go out and just give all your handles. Do you think?
So you can find me on Instagram at Efia Leatham. You can find me. Okay, so for me, my personal page, Efia Leatham, on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, and then Efia Leatham on YouTube as well. You'll find teachings and stuff there. Then there is kingdombeads.com. There is fydwear.com. And there is Kingdom Beads, the Kingdom Beads for the Kingdom Beads for Facebook and Instagram, I believe. And FYD Wear for Instagram. There's too many. Do you see this? There's just like too many handles for me to keep up with.
That just gives people an opportunity to find you everywhere. So there's no excuses that say they can't find you.
Oh, and you can find me at EfiaLeatham.com.
Right.
Nice.
And on Amazon.
And on Amazon too.
And on Amazon.
Put my name in Amazon and you'll find me there too.
Yes.
Right. So she's all over the place, sis. Thank you for doing this. We'll talk shortly. And hopefully you join us again in our next season. And
you guys let me know. I'm available. And if I'm not, I'll make myself available for you guys.
Thank
you so much for having me again. I really, really appreciate it tonight.
And thank you for your time.
Joining us. Yes.
You're welcome.
All right. There you have it. My big sister, Miss Efia Leatham, and giving us some real knowledge and some of her backgrounds and all the things that she's involved in. I know you enjoyed yourself. I was frozen.
No, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta switch. Maybe I should switch providers. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe you need to switch providers.
Which actually
It's all
I
good.
have to call them too. You know how they do. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure you had fun, right?
I did. I really did. I enjoyed that show. I didn't want it to end, but you know how it goes.
Yeah, we know time is of the essence. So
Mhm.
we shall be doing this again next week, Saturday, right back here on TDN TV, on Roku TV, Island Therapy, wherever you're watching us from.
Mhm.
And yeah, you guys have a blessed week, a blessed weekend. I go by the name of Novelist, and
And I am Jewel.
wait for the next the video for next week.
Next
We'll
week.
see you guys. Deuces.
Peace.
What's poppin', everybody? It's Bloody Bantu. I'm gonna be live on Dissect on Saturday, April 8th. It's gonna be crazy. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch it live on Island Therapy on YouTube, Island Therapy on Facebook, or tdntv.net. Alright, so make sure you guys meet me there. Bloody Bantu, Saturday, April